have rabbis thinking theoretically about this golem, which they'd heard stories about. And their question is it human and is it Jewish? By which I mean, the question they therefore asked is, would you bury it in a Jewish cemetery? Could it be counted in a quorum, in a minyan? Would it have to keep mitzvot? And their debate was the following. They said, well, the one in the Talmud, which Emily referred to, that golem couldn't speak. Notice how it relates to this Mishnah. It couldn't speak. And if it can't speak, then it doesn't have moral consciousness, which as the rabbis understand, when God creates human beings in God's image, that selem, is moral consciousness. And if it can't speak, and Rashi says, the way we know that is you can speak and reflect on your ideas and therefore be moral and choose good from evil. So if it can't speak, it's therefore not moral. So therefore the one in the Talmud wasn't moral. But the rabbis then argue, but if a golem could be made that was to speak, and if it was made by a Jew, then it would be Jewish and it would be conscious and it would be counted as human. So the rabbis in the medieval, in the late, this Yaakov Ender we're talking, so it's in the 18th century, recognized that if you could make a golem that could speak, then it would be obliged and it would have moral importance to it. And that is interesting because it shows us that already 300 or 400 years ago, the rabbis were thinking about the possibility of this, and they weren't necessarily afraid of that possibility. So when we are afraid of the idea that the AI could look like us and be equal to us, that worries us because that means we are equal citizens. Or as in Ken's wonderful cartoon picture at the end there, you had the human as the sweeper, and the office workers were all robots, and he was sweeping around them. So there's a reversal of roles there, a kind of worry that now the robots are greater than us. But the rabbis entertain that possibility. If an AI could really have consciousness and moral responsibility, then for the rabbis, it's just as human as we are. And that transforms the level that